Welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today we're going to be sitting down with an adoptive parent. She recently was placed with her son. She also happens to be a birth mom who placed her previous child for adoption. Now let's turn to Cathryne.
So Cathryne, tell me a little bit about your history with respect to your personal attachment to adoption. Not necessarily with Kai, although Kai has kind of brought you a little full circle, right?
Sure. So, as far as adoption, I biologically had my own. He was a boy. I was 22 at the time. I was going through some struggles. I was 6 months pregnant when my mom passed away, and I was a baby myself. You know, my mom was my best friend, and when my son was born, I was in a rocky relationship, and I didn't know where to go. You know, I always struggled with drug use, but it really didn't become full blown until when my son was about 9 months to a year, I would say, where there's just no coming back from it. My son involved with the state because of my addiction, and I was in and out of trouble with the law and things like that. I did have visitation with my son, but between a past relationship and my addiction, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't being the mom that I wanted to be with him, and I just had to think about that child.
You kind of did your own identified adoption in a way back then, right?
Yeah.
You ended up placing your son with a family type of friend, correct?
So the person I placed my son with was my 7th grade teacher.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And we always stayed in contact. So when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she became really a part of my life. Like I said, as I was pregnant, I was the baby of the family. I probably could count on my hands how many times I held a baby. That's what it was like, you know. So yeah, it was my 7th grade teacher, and I said, what better person could I put my son with, you know? Couldn't find a better person. And she did an amazing job. My son is now 18 years old.
And you didn't have any contact with him?
After he was 10 years old, I went in and I got help.
Okay.
I went down to Florida and I received help. Maybe 9 years, because I'm 9 years clean now. I went and I had no contact. I did try to reach out to my son, and I was told that it was not the right time, which I had to respect, because I respected those people I placed my son with, you know, and I had to think, well, when the right time comes, then we'll be reunited. I can't push it because this is what I chose for him. And it was on my 40th birthday, on August, I reunited with my son. I have to say I never saw this play out the way it has. It was like it never stopped, the relationship, but it was a clean Cathryne. A Cathryne who wasn't under the influence and ready to be a mom. You know, it's different because now he's an adult.
Right.
But me and his adoptive mother and father sit down, have coffee, go out to eat. We talk to each other. As long as I stay clean, right? And be there for my son, we're all just going to be one big family.
I remember the very first time you came in here, and one of the very first things was you were very open about the fact that you were a birth mom, right? And you were kind of sad and upset and wondering whether or not we would have any issue approving you because you did like place a child for adoption. And so, do you remember what we said to you? I mean, clearly we approved you guys.
You guys were definitely, you know, I felt coming into this, I just had to lay my stuff on the table and just tell you what my life was about and where I came from and where I am today. And it it was an amazing experience meeting up with my son's, mom.
Yeah.
Because like we had a talk and I said, I understand you. I'm where you were.
Yeah.
And
I do think it was that whole full circle, right? Like you came in, you owned it up. It was very shortly after there, he was born in July. You reconnected with your birth son in August, and it's been an amazing journey, I think, over the last 9 months.
It's been amazing.
So, I feel bad that you came in thinking and wondering whether or not this wouldn't work for you because you thought maybe like your history would prevent an agency from approving you. But, and we have disapproved families for various different reasons, but you are 9 years clean. You chose to make a voluntary plan for your child, and that was in the child's best interest at that time. And you are a different person now, obviously, 18 years later. So, we always want to make sure that people aren't fearful of coming in and wanting to adopt if they are in this situation where they struggle with infertility or they want to be parents. Like, they should always be honest though and lay everything out on the table, but don't feel some sort of way about like whatever's happened in your life is going to be a detriment, because it might not be.
And I've always felt comfortable speaking the truth.
That's
with
good.
you. Honestly, you've always made me feel comfortable.
That's good. Well, thank you for sharing this
You're
other
welcome.
part of your history with us, Cathryne.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to Cathryne for sharing your story. As you can see, there's never any judgment. We're so happy that Cathryne could be vulnerable enough to share her story of placing a child for adoption and was able to move on and ultimately build her family.